Right, okay, so we'll have a look at the concept of time management, something which is important for all students. Procrastination is the thief of time is a well-known saying in the UK and around the world. It's actually a traditional Chinese proverb. This is another way of saying the same thing. It might be nice to put your feet up and relax today. You know, you'll have plenty of time tomorrow to finish your essay. What if you found out the next day your computer doesn't work? If you'd known this earlier, you would have had time to fix the problem. It's too late now. As a full-time student, or part-time student for that matter, you're a very busy person. You have all those lectures and practicals to attend, research and reading to do for assignments, meetings with teachers and team members. Of course, you need time to live, to shop, to meet friends and enjoy yourself. But there are only so many hours in the day. You're going to need a plan, and this is where time management can help you. Okay, so starting to make a plan. First thing you should do is sit down and think carefully about what you want to do over the next day or week. Then you need to decide what you want to do first. This is called prioritizing. This is an interesting question. Tasks can take a long time for different reasons. Sometimes there's quite a lot of quite easy work to do. Other times you might have quite a small job, but one that is difficult. For example, when you need to do a lot of research to write an essay. We'll talk more about this in a moment or two. When you've thought about the order you want to do the task, you should think about how much time you can afford to spend on each. Finally, when you've decided your plan, you must keep to it. So here's an example of a strategy for what you're going to need for nutrition health for the assignment. We started off in week 1 with thinking about our campaigns. You've been reading about UDL, etc. You should now be analysing the campaign using tools and then reviewing the results, doing some critical analysis later on for the hand in week 12. So that was a plan for a single task, albeit quite a big one. The trouble is you probably have many different things to do and all at the same time. Students all over the world say things like this. They have a lot of work. Study at university is hard and it takes a lot of dedication and effort. But you still need to find the time to enjoy yourself. The problem is that some students spend too much time being distracted and not enough time studying. Once again, it is a good idea to have a plan. This is a weekly plan that was used by a food student who graduated a few years ago. She's a bit older than many of you, but not all of you, and is married with children. Notice how she has carefully balanced all parts of her life, both home and study. There are many reasons why she was such a good student and is now doing well in professional life. One of them was she was so well organised, but some of you might even do better. Okay, look at this in a bit more detail. We can see the student had about 19 hours of lectures and practicals, which is a little bit more than you have. You about between 14 and 16. On top of that, she spent another 30 hours in the week studying on her own. Around those commitments, she fitted in her family life. This is quite normal. Of course, many students are not as well organised as this one, and perhaps don't need to be quite as well organised as this, but a level of organisation is necessary. Okay, 5 steps of good time management. You may have felt like this at times. You have lots of lectures to attend, studying, writing assignments as well as getting on with life. Here's a 5-step plan to help you organise life and study. There are other approaches to this, and you might want to do some reading on it. Stella Cottrell's book is well recommended for this, which is one of the course books you should read. But this type of exercise generally is useful to help you understand how to break down jobs and give them priorities. 1. List everything you need to do. It helps if you know what you need to do. This will at least give you an idea of how much work you have to do. For example, writing an essay is a big task. You might have to write 2,000 words on topic you don't know a lot about yet. But remember, an essay is not a single piece of text. There's an introduction, an exposition, or otherwise the details of the discussion, and a conclusion. Finally, it needs properly referencing. You might say, I'm going to write 300 words for the introduction. This is not so bad as the 2,000 words. Since your introduction is a short summary of the main part of the essay, starting to write this first is a good idea. You'll probably want to come back to revise it a bit later on. We'll have a look at some examples later in the lecture in other contexts of the module. So, Step 2, decide what you need to do, and step 3, I beg your pardon, decide what you need to do now and decide what you can do later. Look at your list and decide what needs doing first, where you can delay for a short time, and what can be left until later. So now, soon, later. So step 4, do something from the now list immediately. You have time right now to make a start. Pick something from the now list and do it now. When you've done this, you'll probably feel a lot better about the rest of the work you have to do. 5, have another think about the rest of the tasks, then get on with the work. Decide whether you still think they're in the right order. As you work down your list, you may find some of the things do not even need to be done. Be careful about that, of course, or you've already done them as part of an earlier task. Okay, distractions, of which there are many. There's a lot of competition for our attention. Avoiding distractions is a problem for everyone, not just students. This list is from students, a survey of students at the UK University. There are lots of other things now. We could bring in the whole of social media and lots of ways in which we communicate, which weren't really available when this survey was done. Start by thinking about the things that use up time. Keep a time diary, perhaps. One problem is you can really only do one thing at a time. Multitasking is a bit of a myth. You can jog or walk and think about work, but when you sit down to work on an essay, that is all you can do at the time. Obviously you can listen to music in the background and things like that, but if you try to do two things at the same time, you may end up doing them both badly. When you've decided what is using up your time, you can think about how to be more efficient with that time. Have a look at this list. Think about anything else you might want to add to the list. And there probably are quite a lot of things you might want to add. Okay, thanks for listening. On that note, we should finish the lecture. Bye-bye for now.